Welcome, everyone, to the Obtuse podcast with Kyle and Jeremy. Kyle Fields, comedian, podcaster, unemployed radio broadcaster. Jeremy, bam, bam, boom, boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Iron Mike, the professor, the southern dandy, flyboy, the golden child. 10 minutes on either side of putting a ham in the smokehouse. Stacko Lee Sutherland. Also, a comedian, podcaster, IT man to the dang old stars, and today he's got the Def Leppard County Fair mirror, a razor blade, and a fat line of white lightning, because today we're talking rock and roll's hardest partiers. Jeremiah, what's going on?
How long ago was it that you added unemployed broadcaster as a qualifier in the beginning?
Long enough that I just got a letter informing me that it has been extended. So God bless the American government for all of their help.
That just goes to tell you how much I block that shit out. Like, I've heard that, or what is it, 300 some odd episodes in? I've heard that introduction 300 plus times. Like, I added Stacko Lee. That makes me sound like even more of a badass.
Sure.
And
well, it wasn't long enough.
You added unemployed years.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's the difference between us. Like, I've got to be lifted up, and you're so high up that you got to be brought down.
You constantly have to be handled with emotional kid gloves at every moment. Like, because I love how that intro wasn't long enough for Jeremy. And then about 2 months ago, he's like, you know what? We need to add one more thing onto it. So, and it's funny because as you listen to the show, as the show has continued over the years, you can hear me progressively add more things to it. And you can do all of that right now by checking out all of the old hashtag evergreen episodes at obtuseangles.libsyn.com. They're just like this episode. That means dang old topic driven, man. You want more rock and roll debaucherous tales, kind of like the Suge Knight expose. I'm going to call it an expose. We're like the goddamn Inquirer now. Our episode on G.G. Allen, other rock and roll episodes. Check them all out at obtuseangles.libsyn.com or whatever you listen to your podcast, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasting, Stitcher, everywhere else in between. Whatever you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are new and shiny each and every single Mizunday. Speaking of Suge Knight, Jeremy, I stumbled across Suge Knight, which led to the side quest last week while doing research for the main game, which was this. We're talking about the craziest rock and roll party stories this week. Jeremiah, you were in a band, which is a shock to no one who's seen your ear piercings. You had probably had some crazy rock and roll stories at some point in your life, right? Yeah, come on, you didn't do a Led Zeppelin and have sex with a woman with a fish of some sort? Come on, what happened?
Yeah, man, we did some pretty memorable stuff, but I don't think nothing like Motley Crue level. Like one of the things we did is like our bass player brought this big girl back to an after
party.
Story
checks out so far. Yeah.
One night after a show, and he ate her ass and like fucked her in front of all of us.
Well, you told that so poetically. That was. There was no sugar on that story. You just gave me the goddamn. He fucked her ass and ate her in front of us. Well, that was good. I'm glad. You're talking about some rambunctious actions in a hotel room. You'd be 2 peas in a pod with Mr. Keith Moon, drummer for The Who. This motherfucker, we could do an entire episode on Keith Moon. Tragically passed away, I believe, at the age of 32 of a drug overdose, just like a good rock star should. Narrowly missed the 27 Club. He was the grandfather of bad rock star behavior. I'm going to read this from theriches.com. It would appear that he made his own personal mission to promote deranged antics that would now be considered pretty cliche, but he created them. He trashed hotel rooms. He ate horse tranquilizers like they were candy. And he... Good God. And he had nude cake fights. Now, when I'm reading this on The Richest, I went, wait a minute, nude cake fights? Because his life was so crazy that it's like a Wikipedia article. There's like a million branching paths, like a Castlevania game you have to figure out. So I Googled Keith Moon's nude cake fight. And apparently, this happened on The Who's first North American tour when they were opening for Herman's Hermits. So, well, they were in Flint, Michigan, so, they were already in a great mood, I'm sure. And the show wraps up by roughly 10 p.m., which is when the band and their entourage decide to head to their hotel room at the local Holiday Inn. Now, as you would expect, the drugging and the drinking begin, or rather continue from earlier in the night of the venue. Now, Moon already had a reputation for getting drunk and blackout, was already fucked out of his mind. Now, the details apparently get a little fuzzy at this point, but according to the hotel manager, it was during the next hour that most of the hotel fire extinguishers were emptied for no reason. Because that's fun. That's a party right there.
Wow, something tells me that Keith Moon is into something good.
Yeah. Mike, make sure you...
Hermit song.
Oh, there you go. Thanks. So I'm so sorry. I stepped on your Herman's Hermits joke.
How dare you?
That was for your great uncle.
I wrote that last week when we started talking about this.
I'm sure, yeah. Yeah, you wrote that in 1963 somehow, 20 years before you were fucking born. That was allegedly followed by the toilet exploding in Keith Moon's hotel room. Because that was something that Keith did. He took little cherry bombs with him, and he liked to blow up toilets. He just blew them up. Well, to celebrate their wildest client, a drum company had delivered a giant cake to the hotel for Moon. It was Moon's birthday. And as all of his friends and bandmates gathered in the ballroom to serenade the drummer, a female groupie jumped out of the cake butt naked. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we really picked the wrong fucking, honest to God, I feel like, I should have been a major rock star. Why didn't we choose to go down that life path?
I don't know, man. Well, think about it like this. How many times has being a performer gotten you laid? It's got to be at least once, right?
I'm not going to, try to brag about it, but it's at least, I'm going to say more than one finger. Which is far less than I could fit inside of those.
Come on.
Anyway, the chick jumps butt naked out of the cake. Keith decides to keep the festive mood going by dumping the cake on everybody in attendance. And as you would expect, they had a big old food fight in the Flint, Michigan Holiday Inn. How about that? Well, the fight spills out of the ballroom into the hotel lobby, and this causes chaos and confusion. It was during this confusion that Keith Moon lost the rest of his clothes, and now he was butt naked in the Holiday Inn. Just as Keith is seen running naked through the lobby covered in birthday cake, the police arrive at the hotel, which causes everyone to scatter. Now, Keith Moon, fearful of being arrested, runs out of the hotel in search of an exit plan. He finds that exit plan in the form of a 1967 Lincoln Continental. Keith hops in the car, releases the handbrake, and promptly begins to roll backward, crashing into a property fence, then into the hotel pool. Keith gets out of the pool. Well, good old Keith was surrounded by the police who had their guns drawn on him, but that didn't stop old Keith. He ran until he tripped on a piece of birthday cake and knocked the tooth out. Rock and roll, baby. Keith Moon.
See, Keith Moon is different. Like that, there's not really it just seems more whimsical. Like it seems like there's more folly and there's more whimsy to Keith Moon stories than there is Marilyn Manson or
like Ted Nugent, who imported a 14-year-old Filipino girl or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty dark. Yeah, that's where I was going. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like Keith Moon was just, let's all get naked and get fucked up on birthday cake. Right? It was more fun. It was more fun. What about this? What about, speaking of some Keith Moon stories, now we're on Rolling Stone. This is the exploding drummer. The Who's powerful early live shows generally climax with Pete Townsend smashing his guitars, Moon upending his drum kit, and plenty of smoke bombs going off. God, that sounds awesome. But when the band made its American TV debut on the September 17th, 1967 episode of the Smother Brothers Comedy Hour, Moon decided to ratchet things up a bit further. While the band's performance of My Generation was mostly mimed, the smash-up finale was unforgettably real, thanks to Moon loading his drums with considerably more flash powder than he had ever used before. Well, of course you want to do that on live TV. The resulting explosion nearly blew the Who themselves off the stage, briefly blinded the TV cameras, and caused actress Bette Davis, who was booked as a guest on the same program, to faint in the wings. That is great. I hope that she clutched her pearls.
First. Yeah.
I hope that. I love how both of us. Rolling Stone says that this was. Hold on. Betty Davis. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. I have been told by our producer, Rosalind, Betty Davis.
Oh, yeah, well.
It says that she fainted dead, but I'm pretty sure that she didn't die because of that. I feel like I would have known more if I. Okay, yes, she was not killed by the Who's. She was not killed by the Who's performance. Thank God. Thank God. Have you ever seen that video, by the way, of the fucking explosion?
No,
have you seen this?
I've not seen it.
It's with those old 60s TV cameras, too. So, like, when the goddamn stage blows up.
Half the country went and got in their nuclear bunkers and the annihilation bunkers they had in the 60s.
Yeah.
Like, they're seeing this go down on the... What'd you say, Flip Wilson? Whatever comedy show it was on TV.
It was the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah,
it was the Smothers. I love how in Jeremy's mind, every 60s comedy was a black dude dressing like a woman. It was just, Flip Wilson. That's not like when my grandma wanted to watch The Price is Right, and she would say, turn on Bob Barker. Yeah. Turn on Flip Wilson. During the Who's UK tour in late 1967, Moon relished tormenting the Herd, their opening band. Though Herd guitarist Peter Frampton somehow managed to avoid becoming a target of Moon's japery, keyboardist Andy Brown once found his instrument wired with firecrackers, which Moon detonated electronically from backstage during the band's set. That's amazing.
See what I mean?
I'm going to have to do that to you.
See, like, all of his stuff is I mean, yeah, sure, it's a little violent. It's a little on the violent side, but it's still fun, and it's not really dark. And I think that makes me respect Keith Moon a little bit more. He was just kind of a dick who fucked with everybody.
Well, Moon and Who bassist John Entwistle also rigged up a wire and pulley system to the gong used by Herd drummer Andrew Steele. So each time the hapless drummer would attempt to bang the gong, it would mysteriously move just out of his reach. That's amazing.
I love that. That's perfect.
You want to talk about whimsy. This is whimsy to a T. In fall of 1969, Moon teamed with Legs Larry Smith of, and I've never heard of this band, but goddamn, isn't it amazing, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band to pull a twisted practical. Have you heard of them, Jeremy? No. Fucking hipster. Do you have all of their goddamn records, I'm sure, on vinyl? To pull a twisted practical joke on a vulnerable British retailer, Marks & Spencer. First, Smith entered the store's trouser department. God, that is so British. The trouser department. That sounds like it should be part of a pickup line. No, I would take you to the trouser department and asked to be shown their most durable work trousers. Then, having examined the pair, Smith expressed concern that they might not be strong enough for his purposes, whereupon Keith Moon would enter the shop and cheerily offer to help test them. Each man would grab a leg, then the two men proceeded to completely tear the trousers in half, causing the freaked out staff to call for the store detective. Then, right as Smith and Moon were about to be led away by the authorities, their limo driver appeared on the scene and yelled, quote, "Are those one-legged trousers? They're just what I've been looking for," unquote. And then he bought the trousers after he made the staff wrap them both individually. How cheeky.
That's the most British shit I think I've ever heard.
But it's not all whimsy, though, unfortunately. Moon's sense of humor did have a tendency to push the boundaries of bad taste. Perhaps there's none more cringe-inducing than the example in 1970 when he and the Bonzos frontman Vic Stansfield dressed up as Nazi officers for a record company photo shoot. Then they went out drinking while still wearing the uniforms. Well, that's what you want.
I don't know.
That's what you want.
I don't know. That's still pretty whimsical.
The two men found the reaction of their public goose-stepping so satisfyingly negative, you think, that Moon and Stanzo were even physically evicted from one German beer keller, I'm assuming it means bar. Then they decided to stay in uniform, and for the better part of a week, hired an open-top Mercedes and drove through Jewish neighborhoods with the top down. So that might be a little dark. That might be a little dark.
All right, yeah, okay, we finally got there. Yeah, we're there.
Keep in mind, this was 1970. The Holocaust ended in 1945. That would have been 25 years after, no doubt, many of these people. So what was 25 years ago whenever you're listening to this now, I'm sure in the Library of Congress, dear listener. But me and you, Jeremy, what year is it, Dust? 2022?
Oh, man, 25 years ago was
was
Monica Lewinsky.
There you go, Monica. That would. So if that puts it,
like my mind immediately goes back to a blowjob from a fat chick.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, because I'm thinking, what happened in '97? You're like, Monica Lewinsky. That's what happened. Oh, so yeah, I guess it wasn't all fun. And speaking of a guy who had a whole lot of fun, what about arguably the father of rock and/or roll, Jeremy? Of course, we're talking about Mr. Charles Berry. Oh, Chuck Berry. Oh, come on, you gotta love Chuck Berry.
I do, and although he did steal his music from the white man being Marty McFly.
That's right. Only Back to the Future, only a Hollywood movie would try to convince us that the white man actually invented rock and roll. I do love that. Chuck Berry, man, I tell you what, only died a couple years ago. Proud son of St. Louis. He loved music. He loved performing, and he loved watching women shit. Those are like his favorite thing. He
loved it so much. He loved watching women shit so much.
This is, and I read so much, but I tried to find some of the most colorfully worded articles. This is from washedupcelebrities.com. There's no disputing that Berry has been an exceptionally successful musician. However, it seems as though Berry's music has never been his true calling or driving influence. Instead, Berry seems to be motivated by the one true love in his life, watching women take shits. In 1990... Now, this is in 1990, keep in mind. This is after he went to prison and his music career was pretty much ended for transporting a minor across state lines for sexual purposes, which is just, it's just a whole bunch of icky words together. He then did a stretch in old prison for some tax evasion, because once you're rich, you have to. But I'm going to continue in the article. In 1990, Berry was sued by several women who alleged that Berry installed a video camera in the ladies' bathroom at two of his St. Louis restaurants. Berry probably installed the camera so he could masturbate vigorously while watching video of the women taking a shit. It's possible. I love I'm reading.
Is that what he did? You think
I'm reading it from the article. It's possible that Berry also had microphones installed so he could hear the sounds of them farting too, since he was into that. A class act.
You're making that part up. Does any part of that article say that he was into the hearing the fart sounds too?
I know that he was, but I'm going to get to it because there's a video that I've seen of old Chucky fucking a hooker and making her do stuff. A class action settlement was eventually reached with 59 women on the complaint. 59. That is almost 2 Royal Rumbles worth of women that sued Chuck Berry for the video cameras in his restaurant. He literally made a restaurant just so he could watch women go to the bathroom. It's estimated the settlement cost Berry around $1.3 million plus legal fees. Now, and the article that I'm reading says there's also rumors that the police raided Berry's house after the allegations of the bathroom video surfaced. That's not rumors. It happened. The police found some nasty home videos at Berry's residence. One of the videos shows him giving the hooker a golden shower. This is a blonde woman. After soaking her in piss, Berry apparently tells her to open her eyes and mouth. I've seen this. This is fucked up. He's literally urinating on this woman, and she's obviously, she's shutting. That's what we all do when we're pissed on, right? Yeah. And Barry's like, no, baby, open your eyes. Like, oh my God, so he's pissing on her, and then she says, he says, quote, "Is it nice and salty?"
Do it one more time. One more time.
Is it nice and salty? That's what he says. The woman then tells Berry that she loves him and asks him for a kiss. Berry's response, he says he wouldn't kiss her because, quote, she smells like piss.
It takes a hell of a person to piss right on someone and then flat out refuse to kiss them because they smell like piss.
Oh, baby, you smell like piss. I've seen it, and the way that he says it, like, he's very nice to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's seen the... During the same scene, Barry also reportedly unleashes a very long and loud fart, then says, quote, "You could smell my fart." Barry then shows he can receive as well as give, as in the next scene, the same woman takes a shit on his face. So, I mean, it's... Oh, Chuck Berry. Oh, Chuck Berry liked to party, Jeremy. Come on. Don't you kink shame Chuck Berry.
I'm not kink shaming him anyway. If anything, this has made me an even bigger Chuck Berry fan. It's given me even more respect for the legend.
Oh, yeah, you're going to fucking watch Back to the Future next time and get a boner during that scene and not know why. That's going to happen.
What if it like ran in the family? You think Marvin and the Starlighters? Think he was into shitting on women or whatever, peeing on them?
I don't think Marvin Berry was real. I don't think that was real.
It was real. I saw it. It was in the movie.
I'm sorry. Marvin Berry. Let's see. Marvin was the lead singer. Wait a minute. There's no way this is real. Is this real?
He was the lead singer of Marvin Berry and the Starlighters.
But that was in the movie. That wasn't a real guy. That was
in real life. I saw it in the movie.
You motherfucker. I love how you're like Josh Freeman. I mentioned him before of the First Laugh podcast. Here's why I'm bringing him up. I'm stealing his story, but I'm giving him credit for it. You are the guy in this story. Josh is a manager, and one of the guys, 62-year-old dude who was retiring a couple of days ago, comes into work and he says, "You're never going to believe what happened. They arrested the Pope." And Josh went, "Wait, hold on. They arrested the Pope?" And the guy goes, "Yeah. The guy that went into Nancy Pelosi's office stole her laptop, and on Pelosi's laptop was all the information showing that the Pope is tied into all this bullshit, and the Vatican blacked out, and they arrested the Pope." And Josh goes, "Where did you see this?" And he goes, "I saw it on Parler." That's you. That's fucking you. You just watch shit.
It's exactly, yeah. I think, now that you mention it, I think I did hear about that. I think I saw that where the Pope got arrested.
I knew it.
Yeah.
See, and here's the thing. I use that as an example and a joke, but this joke, and of all the people who listen to this, means that one person is going to like forget about it and get high and call their friends and be like, "They arrested the Pope? They arrested the Pope last night." God. I'll tell you who they need to arrest for being just a sexy lady back in the day was Pamela Desbarres, Jeremy. And you know why I'm bringing up her name? Because, ladies and gentlemen, she is the newest entrant in the Tallulah Bankhead Golden Coxman Award Hall of Fame. Give it up for Pamela Desbarres.
I thought it was DeBarris, like
DeBarris.
like Des Moines.
I'm so fucking it is.
Why would you say Desbarris?
I don't fucking know. Because English can suck my dick. Okay? Fucking Betty Davis. I know Betty Davis, but I got her fucking name wrong, and my wife's coming in here, and you're making fun of me for Desbarres. English is a stupid fucking language. If it's Desbarres, well, that's probably Spanish. It needs to fucking have a goddamn Y or some shit in it. It's bullshit. God, now I sound like one of them. You hear they arrested the Pope? They arrested the Pope, Jeremy.
Pamela DeBarris she was a shining example of this. You can actually fuck your way right to the middle. Not necessarily the top, but you can fuck yourself right up to being a part of a pop group that's produced by Frank Zappa.
That's exactly what happened.
Someone, I'm sure that's the top, but to most people, that's just the middle.
But here's the thing, I love how I'm reading her Wikipedia entry right now because I stumbled across her as well. This says she is best known as a member of the experimental Frank Zappa-produced music group, the GTOs.
GTOs.
The GTOs were a group that was literally completely made up of famous rock star groupies like herself in L.A. No, fuck that. People don't know her because she was in the GTOs. They know her because she released a 1987 memoir called I'm With the Band, which details her fucking every rock star who ever fucking lived. Now, her parents were from Kentucky, which gives her a little bit of a local flavor for me and you, Jeremy. But her family moved to Southern California. When she was raised as a kid, she, all through the 60s, just could not stop thinking about Mick Jagger's dick. Literally, she couldn't stop thinking about it. As a matter of fact, for one high school assignment in art class, she was taught by the teacher to paint what she was visualizing. It was literally Mick Jagger's penis, and she got an A for it. She got an A for it. Which I don't know.
I would have gave her an A, sure. I mean, I'm sure Mick Jagger has a wonderful penis. Very artful.
The great thing, I bet it's skinny and a lot of chicks are into it, but I can't figure out why.
And it dances in the streets with David Bowie's penis.
She introduced herself to her cousin, who was Captain Beefheart. Captain Beefheart was a friend of Frank Zappa. And throughout that excursion, throughout that friendship, she met Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones. She fucked them. Then she started spending some time with the Byrds, who she fucked, and other bands. Then she graduated from high school in 1966. She took various jobs that would allow her to live near the Sunset Strip. After securing a position as the babysitter for Frank Zappa's children, of course, God damn it. See, this is the kind of bootstraps mentality that every single man and woman in this beautiful country of the US of A need to have. You know what I'm talking about? This is the kind of bitch who got a job in LA so she could fuck Jim Morrison. She's babysitting Frank Zappa's kids. She pulled herself up by her bootstraps and she was able to do it. She had sex with Mick Jagger, Jimmy Page, Keith Moon, Nick St. Nicholas, Jim Morrison, Chris Hillman, Graham Parsons. I guess she was his first project. Waylon Jennings, Michael Richards, Don Johnson, and last but certainly not least, Woody Allen.
My goodness.
One of these things is not like the other. Woody fucking Allen.
Oh, did you say Michael Richards?
Yeah, I did say Michael. Wait, it can't be that Michael Richards. Hold on. No, it is Michael Richards. Wow. She fucked Kramer.
Oh, Kramer.
She fucked Kramer.
Two of these things are not like the other.
I love how she fucked Michael Richards. That's crazy. God damn. Who would ever think that Kramer was Eskimo Brothers with Jim Morrison? Think about that. That is...
You know the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We should start playing the 6 degrees of Pamela DeBarris's pussy.
I don't even know if it would. Probably 2 degrees. Probably from anybody on Earth. She fucked this person who also fucked this person. Bingo. Let's move on.
And that's the wonderful thing is like we're not shaming her. We just gave her a fucking award.
No.
I think that's a wonderful thing. I think we're very progressive, Kyle. I think we're
well. I love how
progressive couple of
you can't go more than 5 minutes on this podcast without patting ourselves on the fucking dick, can you? Look how progressive we are.
Look, you know what? We got up, we got ourselves dressed, and we started rolling. You know, that's
right.
big.
That's
huge.
right. I love that you got to remind yourself that every day, don't you? I got up, I got myself dressed
in the mirror.
I'll tell you who else got himself dressed was old Diamond Dave. Oh, David Lee Roth. Oh, Dave. I mean, we could do an entire episode on old Diamond Dave. During Van Halen's 1979 tour, Diamond Dave instituted an incentive program to keep the roadies on schedule. Crew members were given backstage passes to dole out to the ladies of their choice. The roadie who gives out the pass pinned to the tube top on the floor of Diamond Dave's hotel room is given $100 in a commendation at the next pre-show dinner. So what that means is they gave, because I had to read that 9 times to figure it out. He would give the roadies backstage passes, and if Dave wound up fucking one of the chicks who got the pass, then the roadie who hooked up Dave's girl got $100 in a steak. I mean, that's, that's
a hell of a game. I mean, I let's be honest. I don't think Sammy Hagar would have ever done that. And to be even more honest, I'm a Hagar kind of guy. Not really a big fan of David Lee Roth. But
I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way, and I love both versions of the band because I think that in many ways
no. I know you're about to go into you're being honest and pouring your heart. I fucking hate Van Halen. I hate David Lee Roth. I hate
God damn it.
Sammy Hagar. I fucking hate. No, I love classic rock. I love a lot of classic rock, but There is just a couple of bands out there that I just do not fucking like, and Van Halen is definitely like. As soon as you say the name Van Halen, like I'm sorry that he died. I didn't wish him dead. I just wished he fucking didn't make terrible music that I'm tired of hearing every time I turn the radio on.
According to half of the strippers I'm Facebook friends with, it's your negative energy and probably lack of crystals putting that out into the universe.
Well, I did recently get an air fryer, so it balances it out.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, and obviously I edit this thing too, so I don't know exactly where we're going to be when you see this, but can we just give Jeremy a round of applause because he made it 30 goddamn minutes without mentioning his fucking air fryer? That's amazing.
Things are changing in my life. I have a mustache now, and I have an air fryer.
What's wrong? What kind of weird midlife crisis are you going through? See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Growing up, and we've heard about your rambunctious tales of buffoonery on this show over the years. You were in rock bands. You watched girls' buttholes being eaten, all this crazy stuff. And now it's like when you are, because you're going through a midlife crisis right now. I mean, you're not 40 yet, but let's be honest. We're being optimistic at this point. So you're going through your. You're going through your midlife.
Shit, dude. God, you're a piece of. And people don't really know. Listen, people, you don't know how big of a piece of shit Kyle is. You have no idea.
Stop.
All you get to see is what he projects, what he puts out into the world. It's only when you're an asshole. But go ahead, please.
I was just saying that, whereas most people who never lived that rock and roll lifestyle that you lived go through midlife crises. They get an earring, they get a new woman, they get a boat. You are getting a mustache and an air fryer.
Oh, dude,
seriously, I'm this normal.
Fucking close to getting some Crocs and a pair of jorts and signing up to for fantasy football.
I know you.
I swear to God.
What is it? I mean, do you wake up and you feel yourself being pulled towards this lifestyle? Is that what's going on? Like, do you not even realize it, but you're in a fantasy
I got to tell you,
league
Kyle, if I was able to explain it, I would have been able to stop it.
That's probably. I feel like we're in the final scene of The Thing. Me and you are just staring at each other. Which one is going to have a cell phone belt clip first? This is, and we're going to be doing some more deep dives into these sleazy rock and roll stories, but I want to hit up just a couple real quick. Like, what about the time that old Bill Wyman, speaking of him, of the Rolling Stones, married a 13-year-old girl, and his son later dated the girl's mother. Oh, God. Good God almighty. I don't even.
That sounds like the worst, like, Bang Brothers movie. You know what I mean? Like they try to get you to choke down a lot of pretty far-fetched premises. Like, I watched a porn the other day.
No,
I did. I watched the porn the other day where this guy, it's POV, and he's sitting there talking to one of his, quote, bros, and it's obviously a very attractive female with a short haircut, and she's wearing a baggy hoodie and some pants, and he's sitting there bitching to his bro about how terrible women are, and how he wishes that his bro had a pussy so he could just fuck his bro and not have to worry about women.
No.
And then she's like, I'm a girl, I have a pussy. And he's like, no way, bro, come here. And like we're expected to buy it. And I whatever, I jerked off. It's fine. I mean, I bought it, but I didn't like. Look, in the end, man. In the end, it consumes us all. We all take the bait in the end. But my point is that really sounds like some of the harder to swallow.
Well, first of all, I feel like we need a section of the show every week where Jeremy just complains about, as he calls it, quote, razor thin porn premises. Razor thin porn premises with Jeremy. But you say that it's hard to swallow. Yeah. No, sir. I direct you towards the actual sex move called the Def Leppard. Have you heard about this?
No.
Have you read about this, Jay?
I need to.
This is from the richest. I'm going to continue. Some people are rock legends. Others border on urban legends and warrant their own page in the Urban Dictionary. This is the case for rockers Def Leppard. Apparently, there is a sexual expression coined as, quote, having a Def Leppard. And this is meant to describe threesomes where two members of the group experience are a mother and a daughter. Apparently, exploits with the two generations was and still is a popular pastime of Def Leppard. The boys who brought you such musical lines as "I'm hot, sticky, sweet, from my head to my feet." Yeah. They apparently also like to help mothers and daughters come close together. How about that? Supposedly, they experience so many of these family affairs that fans have officially named it that. My God.
I thought it was going to be like you got to fuck somebody in a tour bus while it's flipping off a cliff, and once somebody loses their arm, and I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, because when I heard that, I was like, oh, well, it's going to involve one arm somehow, but no, it didn't.
Right.
See, that's you got to break past those hacky one-armed 80s rock and roll premises, Jeremy.
Yeah.
You got to break past them. And also, I couldn't think of a joke for it. Hey, what about Phil Spector? You know, we mentioned him on a previous episode of Celebrities Who Committed Murder. He just passed away this weekend.
Yeah.
So
saddened. No one saddened. Not anyone. No, literally no one. I didn't even hear about it. That tells you. And I like to keep my finger on the pulse of pop culture and shit. Usually when it comes to news, no, I didn't even hear about it. Fuck Phil Spector.
Is there a band that fell off the face of the earth in terms of like going to be the next goddamn big thing, and then I don't know, in my mind, not really living up to the expectations set forth by their first CD of the Black Crowes? Like, seriously, the Black Crowes, I think that people don't realize how big the Black Crowes were.
Oh, they were like, huge, but just for that one album that came out in 1990 or 91 or something?
90 or 91, yeah. It was that because they had like Jealous Again and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing him up is because the lead singer is a piece of shit. But as we're talking about him, and he's married. He married Kate Hudson. So I mean, oh, I tell you what, he got his. Oh, he got his, didn't he? But what the fuck happened there, man? Because we've done 2 episodes on albums that killed bands, right? Bad albums by great bands. What the fuck happened to the Black Crowes? Maybe it was behavior like this. In 1991, following a concert in Denver, Colorado, Chris Robinson was livid when a clerk at a 7-Eleven would not bend the rules and sell him alcohol after midnight. So he had a little tantrum, and then another customer announced, quote, "There's the lead singer of the Black Crowes." That's when another customer indicated that she didn't know who he was. Well, that pissed off Chris Robinson, who insulted her by saying, quote, "Well, you know who I was if you didn't spend so much time eating Twinkies."
Well, that just seems kind of broad and untrue because I spend so much time eating Twinkies, and I happen to be a Black Crowes fan.
That's unbelievable. I think that you're more of a Kate Hudson fan, and you think that maybe there's secret messages in the songs, like it's gonna decode how you can pull that shit off. That's what it is. But that's your. I hope that's your goal. I hope that your goal is to fuck Kate Hudson by your 40th birthday, or you put your head in that air fryer. That's what I want.
My head goes in that air fryer. I'll tell you what's going to come out. Some of the most juicy, tender, delicious head you've ever eaten in your entire life.
You motherfucker. I love how you're repping this fucking thing to your death. To your fucking death, you're repping that goddamn air fryer.
With half the fat and calories. You wouldn't believe it.
The juiciest, I think the tender, juiciest head I've ever had is the newest inductee into the Tallulah Bankhead Golden Coxman Hall of Fame. Probably. You know, talking of crazy head and all these things, it's one guy that you don't think of is Stephen Page, right? You don't even know who the fuck I'm talking about. That's the dude from Bare Naked Ladies, you know?
Okay.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, dude. Well, you know, they're a hey, see, I knew you were too cool. I knew you were too cool.
Oh, what are you going to fucking get mad at me? Wait, are you defending the Bare Naked Ladies? Come on.
Goddamn right I am. Pinch me, got me through 9th grade, motherfucker. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not fucking mustache air frying Kate Hudson fapping good enough for you. The Bare Naked Ladies, and I'm going to continue from the richest, are a family-friendly band who are just about to release a children's album when lead singer Stephen Page literally went off the rails at the worst possible time. Back in 2008, officers were called to investigate a car oddly parked in a small town just outside of Syracuse, New York. The car was Page's Prius, and the driver's side door was allegedly left wide open. While investigating, the officers spotted a man and woman at a kitchen table with cocaine in front of them. Turns out the drugging duo were Page and a friend who he later married. Oh, that's so sweet. The couple that does blow together stays together. The apartment was searched. More cocaine and marijuana was found, and the "If I Had $1 Million" singer was arrested, but released on $10,000 bail.
Have you ever seen a picture of Stephen Page? Like, I'm looking at him right now, and if I had to guess his crime, I would have said, like, I don't know, like stalking or maybe possession of child pornography or something like that.
He looks like he forcefully fingered somebody behind a Wendy's, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Like, it looks like, the kind of shit that the news doesn't
an
even
age
want to
inappropriate
report.
person, like either a really, really old person or a really, really someone age inappropriate.
He looks like he was arrested for whatever he was doing after years of cashing disability checks for someone. Fucking looks.
He does. He looks exactly like that.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week. We have so many examples of rock stars behaving badly. We're going to be doing more episodes of this on the way. Speaking of episodes, because I've been promoting this shit the whole show, I'm going to do it once more, man. Go back and feast your ears upon more #Evergreen Man episodes. They are topic-driven, just like this one. Of course, more rock star and rock album exposés. Inquirer style like we've done this time. Also, so much macabre. I'm talking about serial killers, people who vanished, pop culture deep dives. Years of pop culture deep dives. I'm talking over 300 episodes of this shizzo, absolutely free. And you're supporting us when you go listen to them right now at obtuseangles.libsyn.com, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, every other place in between. And as if that ain't enough, and goodness knows it should be, we also have just reactivated the YouTube page for Obtuse Angles. That's right, just like Godzilla rising up from the deep after years of inactivity, the Obtuse Angles YouTube page is back. We not only post full episodes of this show, as I'm sure you've seen as I've been uploading shit all week, we're also doing clips from these shows, and we're doing a YouTube/Facebook exclusive content. As a matter of fact, we just had the stupid news story of the woman who assaulted a man with a can of Alpo, or Old Roy, depending on your take, as well. So just subscribe on YouTube. New stuff all the time. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast. We are new, whether or not we should be, each and every single Monday. Follow us on the social medias. If you have any suggestions for episodes you want to hear in the future, at Obtuse Podcast, like the Facebook page. Also, hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Funnyman Fields. He's at Sutherland JB. Jeremiah, what do you say? You tell him goodbye.
Goodbye.